Hello! Welcome back to the library. Game shows are a staple of American television culture, entertaining people for decades with their catchy concepts and potential prizes. One of the most beloved shows is Wheel of Fortune, now airing for 50 years since its taping began. Finally, something older than I am, by a year and a half. If you've never taken the wheel for a spin, here's how the show works. 3 players take turns spinning a giant wheel of dollar values. Correctly guessing a consonant awards you that dollar amount and multiplied by how many times the letter appears in the puzzle. If they need help, they can purchase a vowel for $250 of their potential prize money. If they successfully solve the puzzle on their turn, they keep the money from that round. Whoever has the most money after the last main round heads into the final bonus round. It's one giant game of hangman for those old enough to remember that old game. Upon starting the game, one obvious feature stands out more than anything else: the quality and the quantity of the audio. Quality-wise, it comes across a little muted, clearly exported to a lower quality than it could be. But that annoyance subsides quickly when you realize the quantity of sound is realized. Wheel of Fortune's audio library is, and I mean this with all respect, insane. Vanna, the announcer, and both computer-controlled players are fully voiced with variations on their callouts and comments. Vanna's video comments include multiple versions of the same responses, i.e. the number of letters on the board. She also has compliments, new prize announcements, and commentary between puzzles. There's even some audience murmuring as they quiet down. The opponents also have full banter and have voiced a decent number of the final solutions. It really adds to the ambiance, though the programmers missed a step in the immersion. The computer opponents are strictly programmed to go all in dollar-wise, which leads them to filling in the puzzle up to the point where they can only buy a vowel or fill it in without having to guess at all. Knowing you're behind in the count while the CPU milks the board for all it's worth becomes quite stress-inducing. When it comes to the player benefits, Artec Digital really stepped up the hospitality. There's plenty of time given to fill in the rest of the puzzle, the available actions are always on screen for you in big, bold graphics. Spinning the wheel is performed with a single button press. No more meters to fill or wait on from the older eras of that subject matter. Speaking of benefits, the game's visual variety more than doubles based on a weird single option. If you choose high resolution, you'll only have 5 stage dressings to view. Set it to low resolution and 7 more variants pop up. These include themes like movies and wheels, among other real-world location inspirations. You can either set the stage to your liking, or the game will automatically cycle through them as you play, so long as you have a memory card saving your progress. Swapping over to gameplay, Wheel of Fortune is not without its faults, but truthfully, they're just more realistic than I care for. When playing solo in the standard 3-player mode, the CPU opponents can be crushingly brutal with how many times they can run the table, even on the larger puzzles. In one game, a computer opponent had already racked up 20 grand in winnings, and we were only 2 puzzles in. To the developer's credit, the anger is directed more at the RNG, the random number generation, that runs the wheel itself. It really is random, as Lady Luck comes and goes as she pleases. One of the last games I played before writing this review, I won the show with over $50,000 in prize money, thanks to winning a crazy final round prize. I then proceeded to start a new game and hit bankrupt and lose a turn in sequential spins. No lie, landing the big money values and hitting 4 or more of the letters is a wee bit addicting. I can totally see how this show has its legions of fans after all this time. I think that's why the game works so well as a video game. I truly did not appreciate the strategy involved in taking chances with letter guesses. A single wrong choice can derail your financial dreams in one shot. I think I was sweating when deciding to relinquish my free spin token. It's shiny, like my precious. Lastly, if the pressure's too much for you, the game thankfully allows for a true solo run, where it's just you and Vanna on the set playing the game. Artec was also kind enough to offer scoreboards for each of the different modes. Since there's no career mode, these act kind of like an arcade high scoreboard, how much money you can bring in with just one jaunt through the show. On a final technical note, the game appears to use different resolutions depending on what you're seeing. I share this only because it wreaks havoc with modern TVs. If playing on a flat screen, you may have the prize videos or certain Vanna videos get cut short as it transitions back to the stage screen. It might also just be an emulation issue when recording, but if you're playing on a real hardware on an old CRT, everything is good to go. So, with 1,000 newer and more period-correct versions of the game available everywhere else, is the PlayStation 1 version worth going back to? Yes, actually, and not just because I'm biased. There's an oddly comforting, in-fashion retro vibe to it. Many of the puzzles are time capsules of the era, with many references to even earlier times in pop culture. With the game supporting 3 players on the multi-tap, combined with the high score table, there's a fun time for modern-day parents to take their kids on an old-school role-based adventure. On the review scale, it's a solid 7 out of 10. Wheel of Fortune's first outing on the original PlayStation is pure comfort food, but there's more they could have done with the memory card functions. And that's the review, guys. I'm actually looking forward to the second release as it added a lot more goodies on the back end. If you missed the big announcement, I was able to pry all 2,400 plus puzzle solutions from this version to create the ultimate guide for fortune hunters. Just remember, knowing the puzzle's answer beforehand won't save you from the bankrupt or lose a turn spaces. Are you a fan of the show? Have you played the game? Share your thoughts below and let's get the conversation started. I'm here when you need me. Take care, you guys. I'll see you next episode.